session of the free training webinars that we are hosting since 2 weeks ago. Um, we will be with Emmanuel Barros again today. He will be explaining us some topics about Kalipso. So today is the third session, and you can already rewatch the two first sessions, the first and the second session. We have it on YouTube, so everyone can watch it already. And for today, Emmanuel will explain us some concepts about RFID in Kalipso as well as printing. Um, Also, if in the end we have some time, we can not only answer your questions, but we can see any other topic that might be might be feasible and doable. So to everyone, enjoy the session, and well, I will let you all with Emmanuel Barros. Emmanuel, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome. So today will be our last session. Today we will play with some toys. So I have here a printer with me, and I have here an RFID. And I think I will start with the RFID, and let's hope will work, because during the morning I killed one, I think. So let's see, I don't kill this one too. Okay, I will start sharing my screen.
We can see your screen already.
You can see? Okay.
Perfect.
So this is our old, a bit schizophrenic regarding colors applications. Well, let me just find some space for some new buttons. And okay, let me create a new form. Okay. So let me explain a little bit about RFID. Sometimes we get a lot of questions, and I think people that don't know RFID, they always think that is a very complex thing, and it's not. So if you think an RFID like just a barcode, so it's a barcode that you can read from almost anywhere. Depend, of course, the type of barcode of RFID. The one that I'm talking about here, it's UHF, so it's the long range. And the main idea is that the RFID tag has a number, okay, and that's it. You will just read that number. All the smart part will be done with the database. So let's say you have products that, let's say you sell shoes or sneakers. So probably you have one model with one color and okay, different sizes, but it's just one model, and they all have the same price. But each box will have an RFID tag, so each box will have a different number, and so you will have to make the relation on the database between the model and the list of RFID tags that you have for that specific model. Okay, so I have here a device with me that is M3. I will plug it in. Okay. And I will create a table on the screen with just a column. Right. Okay. So when I go to this form, let me change the name of the form. Show form RFID. Okay. So now I will go to the properties of the form. Okay, actions, and let's take a close look here to the what's the name, to the RFID group of actions. So first thing, we have NFC. So almost all Android phones have NFC, so you can read NFC tags, and you can also read 1K RFID tags. Normally, they are the small cards that you use to access a door or something like that. But sometimes some devices, they can also read that. But my goal is not with the RFID, the NFC tag right now. It's with UHF. So we have some brands, okay? Most recent ones that has Android devices, they are CipherLab, Zebra, Nordic. We all have their action. These ones are quite old. If you let me also close this. And the most recent ones that we have, they are here on the generic actions, okay? And the basic idea of these generic actions are the same with the barcode, okay? So we'll do barcode connect, and you will select the brand. Okay, this, you need to select the brand. We don't have any easy way to test and decide which brand are you using. So in this case, you have to, if you are making an application for an M3, it's an application for an MC, and this application will not work on other one. But as you can see, the actions are all almost the same name. And if you have a customer with the M3 and a customer with the Zebra, they are very similar, but you need to or make two different applications, or have some kind of logic on the beginning to set up your application. So if you are using Zebra, you will use Zebra RFID Connect, or if you are using M3, you will use RFID Connect M3. Okay, but unfortunately, we don't have the same flexibility of a barcode. Okay. So this will be almost the same. So when we open the form, we do RFID connect, and when we exit, RFID disconnect, okay? And then we have start inventory and stop inventory. We have a lot of other actions, but I will focus just on the start and stop inventory, okay? So let me create, let me copy this. Okay, they are green, but that's okay. Okay, the stop one, it's easy. It's just stop inventory. And the start will be, sorry, start inventory. So you have a lot of variables, okay? The most interesting is the tag ID that you probably need. Sometimes if you need to know the distance, it's RSSI, but for now I will just use tag ID. Okay, tag ID. And you can filter them, and you can return different values from the tag ID. But for now, I will just focus on the tag ID because that's what I want to show. Okay. And again, I will go to the properties of the form, actions, add an event, others, RFID tag found. So, and if I found a tag, table, add line, the tag ID. And if I don't forget then something, it's just this. Let's test. Okay, we show my screen. Oh, it's here. Okay, so RFID. And if I press start, okay, as you can see, it's very fast to read. They all have different values. I can stop it. They all have different values. And that's it. So now all the smart part of RFID will be done with the database. So imagine all these tags are regarding, I have here a notebook. Let's imagine that is a notebook, just an ID. Probably the barcode will be just one, okay, because it's the same product. So you only have one price. But in fact, we have 3, 4, 5 notebooks here, and you can read them all. So it's very fast, very easy to work with. It's just like reading a barcode, but from a distance and with probably more accuracy than reading a barcode. I don't know if we have different questions regarding RFID, but it's more or less this. Okay, I will move to printing. So I'm switching devices. Okay, printing. So you can, with Kalipso, you can print almost to any kind of printer. Okay, so you can create PDFs, and you can print for local printers that are on your network. You can print for USB printers. Let's say you are on a desktop application and you want to print for your printer. And you can print from the mobile device to a Bluetooth printer. Okay, we will do that today. And you can print for a remote printer, sorry, using mesh communicator. Let's say you are out on the street, but you have a network printer connected to the same network where you have mesh communicator, so you can print to that printer. Okay, so let's start. I will start with the PDF. Okay, and then we will move to the mobile printer. Okay, so first thing, we need to create the printer. Okay, plus PDF. And as you can see here, we have a lot of printers. This is like, let's say, the driver that you will use. Just regarding these drivers, PRC, they are old drivers and probably you will never use them. This is for Windows CE, and this is a special driver. Regarding the 3 last ones from Zebra, these also are old drivers for Zebra, so you probably will not use them. So you will use the graphic Zebra. Regarding printers, so most of the printers, they emulate graphic ESCP or native So probably one of these, typically mobile printers from China, they use this one. If you cannot use this one, you can also use native driver, or some of them they emulate ZPL or CPL. So you need to read the documentation, you need to try, okay? But for now, for a PDF, we don't need to check that, just PDF, okay? And we need to create a report. Regarding the report, you can select the size of the paper, or you can specify a paper, okay? I will select, let me select a smaller one. Let's create the report. Okay, now the report, we will edit and not controls the same logic that we add to forms. Let me minimize this. Okay, on a report that is a fixed size, like a A4 or A5, you can have a header, and you can have a footer. Okay, this will be print every time he prints a new page. And you can have fixed text. So this is text that will not change. Okay. And you can change the size. Oops. Let me put this a little bit bigger. And you can change the size of the text, position wherever you want. But these are fixed text, okay? But of course, you can have dynamic fields on your paper. Let's put a dynamic field, content, and you can have content from a query. We will see that later from a variable, and of course, system date, system time. Let's put system date. Okay, and let's put. Let me copy paste, and let's put something like. Page total. Page number. Okay. And I need to change this size. Let's change the position of the letter to the right. Let me reduce this one too. So as you can see, making this pretty can be a bit of time consuming. And I will copy paste the fixed letter, and I'll just put this. Sorry. Okay. Okay, let's try first to print this. Okay, print is print. So we'll use the printer PDF. The layout will be report one, it's just the one we have. Regarding printer C, printer to file, and file name, these three options are regarding the printer C driver. Again, you will not use this. On details, so this is a PDF, so we are generating a file, so we need to say where we are going to save the file. Again, P folder, and this is completely dynamic, so you can add a number, you can add I don't know, a date, something. Okay, let's try. oops. I was jumping to the RFID screen and I don't have a RFID reader on my computer, so you'll get an error. Okay, print. Let's see, where is it? I need to open a browser here. One moment. Okay, we have our first report. Oh, this is really not very aligned, but that's okay. So we have a dynamic field with the data, and we have a dynamic field that tell us how many pages we have. Okay, let's make this a little bit more difficult. Okay, so we can also have dynamic fields that are coming from a variable. So let's say you select a value from a database, or you read a barcode, or you read some value and you want to print that. So you need a dynamic field, content, variable, and we will use the variable 0. I can change the name of the variable 0 to dynamic value. Okay. And we can also use that for other things. Let's say I'll put a barcode here, content, that has the same variable. Okay, I didn't select the type of barcode, so I can go and change that. Double click again, type, and let's say I want a QR code. And you can change the size. Okay. So now this will have the same value. So let's go to our print action. And on parameters, you see we have our variable that we need to fill in. It's a bit like when we jump from one form to the other, that we send the variables, or when we open a global action set and we need to send the variables, it's the same thing. So let's put here some random value. And let's say you also want to open the PDF at the same time after you print the PDF. You can use shell execute. The file will be the same file. And just the action open. Okay, it's here. Okay, that print the ID that was generated and the QR code that has the same value. Okay, let me just check if I have any values here. Okay, good, I have. So remember the last session we connected to a web service and we get some values that are cameras. Let's say I want to print a list of the cameras that we have. Okay, so the same way we have loopers for the screen for the form, we also have loopers here for the report. Let me minimize this. Minimize, no, reduce the size. Okay, looper. Okay, when we create a looper, we need to define where is coming the data. Okay, so we need to create a query. Plus, and we'll use this table. It's a normal query. Select I will need ID, name, and that's it. You can also use quantity from. Okay, if I do that, I will have 3 variables to use. Save, save. Okay, let me put this a little bit bigger. Now we'll add a dynamic field, content. It's coming from a query, and the query, it was the query number 1 that we created, and we have column ID, name. Okay, so something like this. I need to change that to name. And of course, if you want to make this a little bit pretty, what will happen is that the looper will replicate the line below until the footer, and then we'll create a new page and we'll fill this in. We are using just a report with 1 page. Okay, but let's say you want to have 2 pages, you can decide the second page too. But for now, let's just use 1 page. So they will all the pages will be the same. But for now, it's enough. Let's test. Okay, so these are dynamic fields, and there will be 1, 2, 3, and so on. Because we are just using 1 page, is trying to replicate, but the first page will not do it. Okay, let's say we want to filter these results. Let's go here to the looper and edit the query. Where ID less than, and I will use a variable. Okay. So again, when we are going to print, I will say that I want the max to be 5. And now we are filtering what we want to print. So let's say you want to print just the report for today, or just the items for that invoice and so on. Okay, see? So now we just print the first 4 items that we have. It's a select, the same, everything you can think on regarding a select, you can do it here. And it's quite easy to use. Okay, why I started with the PDF? Because regarding the report, it's exactly the same creating a report for a PDF or creating a report for a mobile printer. Exactly the same. But for a mobile printer, we need to add the printer, and so that will take longer. Okay, but regarding the reports, it's the same. So for now, I will close the report, and I will focus on the Bluetooth part of printing. Okay, so we have a printer here. I have a Zebra ZK 320. I think that's the name. And why I have this printer is just to warn you that for Android and Windows, we can use any printer. Okay, that's not a problem. But regarding iPhone, no. So for iPhone, the only driver that we have certified for Kalipso with Apple, it's the Zebra for Bluetooth Low Energy. So if you are planning to create a mobile application for an iPhone, and if you want to print for a Bluetooth printer, you need to use a Zebra Bluetooth Low Energy printer. Why? Because Apple force us to have a driver certified by Zebra. So it will be impossible for us to ask all the manufacturer to digital sign a driver so we can use on Kalipso. That will be a bit difficult, and they are always changing this. So we decided the one that is, I think they sell everywhere in the world, so will be very, very available everywhere. Okay. So I need to, first thing, I need to search for the printer and pair the printer with my device. And then I can print to that printer. Okay. Or if you want to put manually the MAC address of the printer, you can do it. But let's say you are creating an application, the other person will not know what is even a MAC address. So you need to make this a little bit easier. So let's do it. So I'll create a button to start search for a Bluetooth device. For now, I'll just go here, actions, communication, start device discovery. I'll get 3 variables, the MAC address, the name, and if it's already paired with the system or not. Okay. Okay, the logic, it's a bit like the RFID. So we start searching and then we'll go to the properties of the form, actions, add an event, Bluetooth device found. And with every time we detect a device, we will add that device to a table on the screen. Content. So name, Mac. It doesn't need to be a table, it can be a looper, something more pretty, okay? And it doesn't need to be a column for pair. You can change the color, or if it's already paired, you don't need to show the device, things like that, okay? So my goal here will be, so I'll start searching, the devices will be showing up here, and then I want to click and I want to define my mobile printer with this MAC address, okay? So I need to first create the printer. And I know that I will use a Zebra, okay, with Bluetooth socket. As you can see, you can use other protocols, but this one is Bluetooth. My problem is that I don't know the MAC address. Okay, so add an event, Bluetooth device found. So we will add the values to the table. Table add line, name. Sorry. And pair, if it's paired or not. Okay, and this works perfect on Windows, but on Android, Android, it's a bit like the movie Nemo. So Android, it's like Dory. So Dory, every time he finds Nemo, he says, "I'm Dory," and this will be the same thing every time the Android finds the printer. We'll find the device, and it's the same device, but Android will keep finding the device. So it's the printer. Oh, it's the printer. So we need to filter that. So table find, let's search for MAC address. And on the table find, if we find that MAC address, that will return the line. If it's not found, that will return -1. So that's what we will search, go for. So if my line it's equal -1, I will add the line. Otherwise, I will not do anything. Okay. Okay, we can show this running. Okay, so I have here my printer, and it works better if I turn it on. So, okay, so now it's on. Let's go and check if we can find it. Okay. It's this one. Okay. There's a pretty name. That is the serial number. Okay, so now we need to create an action. So every time I select my printer, we'll add the MAC address to the settings of the printer. Okay, so let's do that. So action. So if I click there, I want to stop searching the device because I already found the device, so I don't need to keep searching the device. I need to see if the printer is already paired or not. So table get column value. I need the MAC, of course, and I need to check the pair. Touch if this is paired. Let me check if it's 1, so I can go here to start action Bluetooth. Okay, so 1 it's paired, 0 it's not paired. So I will invert the logic. So if it's 0, I want to pair the device. And I can remove this else. So now I need to configure the printers. Let's go here, printer, set printer parameter, my mobile printer. And as you can see, you can change all settings for the printer. So let's say you want to create a more generic application to print. You need to create a printer, okay? But you can change the type of printer that you are using, like this, okay? So if you change the value of this action, you change the type of printer. But for now, I'll use just the zebra, and I just need to change the MAC address. And I will send a message just to tell that it's okay. And let's print something for the printer. Print zebra or mobile. Okay, again, it's the same action that it's print. I just need to create a new report. Okay, the report I need to create will be using a continuous paper, and I think my printer is 72 inches. Oh, sorry, 72 millimeters, 3 inches. Yes. And let's just put here a QR code that has a value from a variable. Okay, so print mobile printer, report number 2, parameters. Let's again put some value, can be this one, and let's try. Okay, so let's search the printer. It's here, so I will click OK, and now I can print. I hope. No? Just making fun of me. Let's try again.
We might, Manuel,
See?
we might have here an input that might help you. I don't know. But in Bluetooth pair device, the parameter must be the MAC address or the pair status, because you have selected LVAR pair, or maybe.
No, it's correct.
Okay. Okay, so that's not a problem.
No, it's just today everything that I touch beside that will not work. So again, it's just make fun of me. Let me just force a different protocol. But it's probably me. Okay. If you decide to create an application like this, again, you need to save the MAC address, and I'm not saving that. But you should save so you don't force your user every time you open to select the printer. Oh, it's working now. Okay.
Great.
Let me click again. And now it's not working again. See, it's my bad luck. Okay. Let me just use something here. And let me try again with the driver. It's supposed to work this one. Sometimes if it doesn't print, you should try some time wait. Sometimes it helps. So printing, it's sometimes needs a bit fine tuning, but it works. Okay, let me show you my screen. Okay. Okay, now it's working. Okay, 20 milliseconds did the trick to wait. Okay. This report, it's built in Kalipso and it's very flexible, but there are limitations. Okay, let's think that you are printing to a desktop printer and you have a cutter, and you want to send that command. We don't have any specific action for that command, but that doesn't mean that you cannot use that. So let's say you want to create a report using the native code of the printer. Okay, so I have here a Zebra with me, so I will use a Zebra code, a ZPL code. But if you and you can design that on a Zebra Designer or a different program like Bartender or Nice Label or any other place. Okay, so you can design a label on a native designer for your printer, and of course you can use that on Kalipso. So let me grab a CPL. Okay. Okay, something like this. So for the ones that know what is this, so this is a label and this is a barcode. And what we will do is that we will open this file and we will change this value for a value that we want, and then we will print this label. Okay. So I will save this file on a specific folder of our project. Okay. Webinar. As you can see, our project have different folders. The reports that we are making are on print layouts, but we want to send this file to the project, so I'll save the file here on files to send. Everything that is inside files to send, when you compile your project, that will be sent to the final application. Okay, and we want to search for this string, and this is a bit different. Okay, I will assume that you already have the MAC address. And this will be using sockets. So socket connect Bluetooth for the MAC address that we already have. Okay. And then we need to print that file. So first thing, I also need to read the file. In fact, I will read the file first. Let me delete that. So file load content. The file name will be this folder. Okay. So we are reading the content of this to that variable. Okay. And now I need to change the value, set value. Let's search and replace source string will be CPL. Sorry, replace ZPL. String to replace, it's this one. And let's assume our label barcode something, it's a value that is coming from someplace. Now I will just write 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's save that. Okay. And now let's connect to the printer. So connect Bluetooth. Okay, and then we need to write what is inside our variable and close. Okay, sometimes some printers need a bit a moment. They don't like to, so we can open and close very fast the connection. We need to try. It's or you need to read the documentation, but it's a bit for experience. Okay, and that's about it. Let's try. Okay. Let's see if better. Mhm. So I need search again the same. Okay. See, so you can print using our report, and you can also print using a different kind of report. Okay, that is file. João, how is my time? Oh, I still have 1 hour, right?
Hi. Sorry. Again, the microphone needs some time printer to be.
Okay, so I still have 1 hour. Yes.
Yep. Yep. You still
Okay,
have 1
so
hour. And as a matter of fact, we got here several questions related to the session, but we also got someone who asked us if we could talk about a specific topic.
that is
So Luis asked us if we had time, if you could explain how to use and when to use critical sections.
when to use, how to,
How
when
to
to
and
use.
when.
It's better to start with when. When is when you have a global action set that will run in parallel and you don't know when they are running, okay? And you are not sure that the global action set, let's say a global action set has an update, okay? And you are updating one table, and you also have an action on the screen that the user can also update the same table. So you are not sure if it's you that is updating the table or if it's the global action set that is updating the table. So because you don't know, okay, because the global action set is running on background, you need to define you need to create a critical section that you don't want to run when you are running that on background. So you can go here, you can enter critical section, and you can leave critical session. And let's say you have a HTTP request somewhere else, you can test if you are inside the critical session or not. Okay, so this one will report if you are inside the critical session or not, and if you are not, you can run. If you if you are not, you can run. If you are inside the critical session, you will not run that update, and or you can wait for the threads. That's about it. Okay, let me remove that. I don't have any good example here to show you, and this is a semaphore problem. Okay, so basically is that. Okay, so let me just make the print a little bit more reliable. Okay, because now every time we open the application, I need to configure the MAC address, and it doesn't make much sense. So I need to improve that a little bit, and I will use the database that I already am using to save the server. So now I will update that with the MAC address. Settings, MAC address. Okay. So, and every time I open the application, I need to configure. So select not this one. Plus settings, and variable that will go to the MAC address. It's the same logic that we did for the IP address. So if record count 0, set settings. I don't need to put a value here. Otherwise, set printer parameter, MAC address, MAC. Okay. And I can move that to global action set 2 or local to make this more pretty. Oops, come here. Okay, that's it. So now, if I run these ones, I don't need to keep adding and adding and adding the same thing. So let's see. So I'll search the first time. Okay, it's here. And I can print something. Okay. And I can execute the application. Open again. And everything goes okay. Yes. So now, because we saved the MAC address, you don't need to keep searching and adding and so on. Okay, and also the PDF can also work here. So once, oh, sorry, maybe that doesn't work. Okay, I don't have a PDF reader. You should have a PDF reader. Okay, last thing. Minimize that. Again, creating the close. HTML. So with Kalipso, you can have a HTML viewer, okay? And this is a browser, okay? Just a browser. If you need to test something here, you can use your browser, and then you can open any web page here. It's a browser. So if you go and let me, okay, something a bit more actual, Olympic Games. And if you place the URL over there, okay, see, it's a web page, and this will load like a normal and regular web page, and this opens a lot more possibilities and functionalities that without a HTML viewer you can't do. So I don't know if I showed the other session, but if you want to have a map, you can have a HTML that you load a map here, or if you want a different type of chart. So everything you can do on a browser, you can do with Kalipso. Okay, so it's okay. This is a regular page that you can use. Let's exit this. Let's change something here. Grab. Okay. Well, so let's say you want to different charts. Google chart. Okay, let's see this one. Oops. So this one is just a HTML file. Okay. Let's save that. So two things. So we can select that and go to our control, double click, delete the URL, and we can just copy paste the HTML that we want to show. Save, and we can try that. Okay, this is completely off center because you need to change the HTML to so this can be what's the name, dynamic. But I'm not doing that now. I don't know HTML enough to do that. But this is a web page, so and you have some values, but you can change that. You can change that values, and you can load the HTML also from a file. Okay, so let's do that. So I'll remove the content, and you remember that I saved the HTML to a file, okay? So now I will, when I open the form, I will load the content from that HTML, and I will set the properties of the control. So file load content. The file name will be the folder plus what was the name? H. Okay. And set property. I don't remember the variable where I put that, but I will use this. Okay. And that's it. Oops. Maybe I need to change something. Sorry, it's not value, it's content. HTML content, sorry. Now it's working. So let's say we want to change this. Let's say we want to change work to something. We can do that. The same way we did for the printer will be the same thing for the HTML. So let's take a look at the HTML, and we can change work to set property. Sorry, set value, replace source string HTML. So I want to replace work by Kalipso. Save that again to the HTML. Now it's Kalipso. So you can change the HTML, so you can change the values, or you can load the values from variable or database. So you can have a different style of chart. Okay, and this is something that will be this one. It's easy, but there are other kind of graphics that are almost impossible to do with Kalipso. Okay. And you can find libraries online. They have a lot of them. Lines, we have lines and pie charts, but this one we don't have. And I don't know, geographic maps, scatter maps, we don't have that. So if you need a complex or a coach. So if you need a more complex graph, you can use an external library that you can load inside the HTML control. Okay. And now I think I can answer the questions. João, are you there?
Again, Emmanuel. Sorry. I think before the questions, we can talk about another topic that people mentioned here, and then we proceed to the questions. So there were people asking about push notifications on iOS and Android devices, and they would like to know probably the basic how
Okay.
how does it work, and if we have any documentation and examples about it.
The documentation, it's everything. It's using user guide.
Yeah.
Okay. And please read the user guide. You will find everything you need here on the user guide. The difficult part is not Kalipso. Okay. That's not the difficult part. And in reality, if you are using Firebase from Google, Firebase will generate a JSON file, and then you just need to copy that JSON file or open that JSON file here on Kalipso. Here you go to project, push notification, we enable that, and you load the JSON file. Google Firebase will provide push notifications for Android and iOS. And let me explain you how is the logic of this, because people ask about push notification and I think they don't realize the difficult part. It's not Kalipso. That's not the difficult one. Okay, I don't know what is this, but I will use that. Okay, so let's assume this is Google Firebase. Okay, and you have a Kalipso application in your customer. So your idea is to send a push notification here. Let me copy something here. Okay, message. So your idea is to send a message to your Kalipso applications using a push notification. If you need to send a message, you need to send a message from your server or from your machine or from your back office, okay, to Google, and Google will send to your application. Okay, to do that, you will need to generate an ID, and you will send that ID to your back office so you can know to which user you are sending the notification. Okay, so this is the way. Okay, so your application will generate an ID. You will send that ID to your back office, and then with the ID you will send the message to Google Firebase, and Google Firebase will send the message to your application. Okay. Basically, regarding Google Firebase, you will need to create a Google service JSON. Please read the documentation. They are always keeping changing the screens and the APIs. So you need to read that. And you need to learn how to work with Google Firebase before you go here, okay? But regarding Kalipso, you just enable, load the content, and if you go to, oops, let me go here. See, push notification get client ID that will generate an ID that you need to send to your server, and is that ID that will identify that device with the Google Firebase. Okay, and without that, you cannot send the message. Ok? Pergunta seguinte. Sorry, next question.
Portuguese.
João?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I was saying a little bit of Portuguese. So yeah, let's move on to the questions right now, and I will show them here on the screen. So the first question: how can I create a report with two loopers, one inside the other? Example: header, lines, and line detail.
Okay. How many headers do you have? Go back to the question. Open, please. Because example, header, lines, and line details. Oh, okay. Yes, you can have a looper inside the looper. Let me show you this one. Okay, so you expand that and then use a different query. I'll just write something here so I can create a second looper. So as you can see, you can have a looper inside a looper. Okay. And everything you'll do on the second looper will be based on the first one. The looper regarding the queries, you can save these to targets. Okay. And then you use the variables to filter the second query. Okay. So next question.
Okay, let's move on. So this one are a little bit off topics, but let's go for them.
Yes.
Is it possible to have a structured folder with files inside files to send folder and maintain same structure on device? The first question.
I think yes, but why? Why you need that? It's a good question. I never tried. We can try that. Let me see. Documents, training. Sorry, not this one. Okay, so I will use the header. File load content. Okay. Okay, let's see. Nope. Sorry, I did a mistake. This one. So let me check simulator. So no, the answer to the question, or at least to the first question. João, can you show me the question?
Yep.
It's no. So a file inside a folder inside files to send. No. That is no. How to have a software protection by device?
Yeah, that's the second question.
Yes. Good question. So imagine that you want to sell your application. if you think a little bit, so in Google, if you have a Google account and if you have 10 devices, and if you buy one application, you can have the same application on 10 different devices. That is good for if you think that you are selling one game and you have two smartphones, and of course you want to use the same game on the two smartphones. Okay. Same logic when we have two Game Boys and we have a cartridge. So we put the cartridge on the Game Boy 1 and we put the cartridge on the Game Boy 2. So we have the same game. But it's bad for some business. Let's say you are selling an application for a postal service and they have 500 terminals, and you just probably don't want to sell just one application. You want to sell 500 applications. So you can manage that with get serial number. Okay, this will generate a serial number for a device, and with that serial number you can manage that with a database that you have. So just a very simple query if you that serial number it's valid or not. Okay, it's just a string comparison. This will generate a serial number. Okay, some notes regarding this. If the user makes a factory reset of the Android device, that will generate a different serial number. Okay, I think this is the only limitation. Okay, so and that serial number, let me show you that serial number. Delete that. Okay, serial number. It's not the serial number that you find in the box of the device. This is a serial number that is generated by Kalipso. Okay, you will not find that value anywhere printed or inside the system. So this is unique to Kalipso and it's unique to the device. This is one way to I want to simulator. This is one way to specify a specific just one device for your application. Okay, see, this is a serial number. Okay. Next question. I think there are three questions on the same.
Yeah. So the third question is it possible for an image control inside a looper receive directly a base64 string from a database?
One question: the looper it's on the screen or the looper it's on the report?
The question was from Luis Gonzalez.
No, regarding both, no, we cannot load base64 directly to an image. No? You always have to convert base64 to a file, the same way I did here, and I did that for the looper. Here, the looper. Where is the looper? I think it was this one. Yes. So here, when I do the get, I need to parse the base64 and then save that on a file and save the file name on the database. Also for the looper, but there are a difference here. Okay, so regarding base64, you need to convert that to a file. That's it. Okay, there's no way around. But regarding the image, if you see a content, you have a URL, and you can use a URL from a server to load the image here, and you can have the URL on the database. You can load the URL to the image, but not with the report for printing. You need to have the file name, the file on the system. Otherwise, you will not be able to print. So even if you have a URL on a web service, you need to download that file, save that file to the file system, and then you can use the image on the report. Okay.
Okay. So let's proceed. Next question. I need to create a report label in Kalipso, multicolor, the same as the existing one. For example, a box with text inside. The box has a blue background, gray outline, and white letters. I need to print to network printer and or PDF, but the outline and background don't print right.
So if that's a problem, please send to to support. Okay, so regarding colors, colors, it's this one. So the text, you can change the color of the text, and that's about it. And you can have shapes that you can put below the something that you want. Let's see, like this. Color. Why it's not showing? So you can have different colors of I don't know, of anything. Okay. But if that is a problem that you are getting different colors or different problems, please send to the support. Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question to send to support, so they can see your problem specifically and try to help you better. Let's move on to the next question. With Kalipso running in Android, can we open the generated PDF file of our report?
Yes, it's the same thing that I did here. Not this one. Shell execute, but you need a PDF reader. That's it. It's the same thing. It's the same action that I did for Windows. Let me just check if I now this open. Exactly open. Yes, you just need a PDF reader on your Android to be able to open the PDF. Okay.
Okay, great. So let's move on to the next question. After printing in a Bluetooth printer, does the device keep paired? I tested
No.
before with two different devices trying to print in one printer, but the first one pairs and print, the second one cannot be paired.
So if you let me divide this question. Please show me the question so I can.
Sure.
Show me the question. So okay. So regarding this, after printing in a Bluetooth printing, does the device keep paired? Yes, if you don't close the application. If you close the application, the device will not be paired again. Why? Because as you can see regarding the printer, I don't have anything here on the MAC address. So if you close the application and you open the application again, you don't have anything here. So you need to do the same thing that I did before, that is creating some kind of logic so you can load the last MAC address and load that to the printer. That's one thing. And then you need, I tested before two different devices trying to print one printer, but after the first one pairs and prints, the second one cannot be paired. The second one cannot be paired. That's strange because you can have multiple devices paired, but you need again to set printer parameter for the second printer if you are using the same mobile printer. Okay, if you are using the same mobile printer, you need to pair a new printer, and then you need to add that printer to mobile printer. If you are planning to use two different printers at the same time with the same application, I recommend to have two different printers. So you go here and you add another one. Let's say mobile 2. Okay. So you pair one printer with this one and the other one with this one. Okay. That's it. Next question.
Great. So let's move to the next question. Can print via socket in a shared printer or another computer?
Yes.
Something like
Yes, the socket print. Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You can use that, or maybe will be better using. If it's a Zebra, you can use TCP/IP. Okay, probably this will work better.
Okay.
Next question.
Let's move to the next question. Is it possible in Kalipso to call other external print files? Example, crystal report.
Yes and no. So the short is no, you can't. We don't understand the files that are creating. But if Crystal Report can generate a file like this, and you can copy that file to your device and then use that file to print, yes. Or if Crystal Report is centralized, for instance, I think, let's say, a nice label. Nice label, they have a web service to print and create reports and printing. So and you can connect to this nice label using HTTPS. So you can print using a web service. So in that case, you can use external service to print a report. Okay, but short answer is no, unless you are creating the report on a file, and then you can open the file on Kalipso. Okay.
Great.
Next question.
Next question. When I use the command update to update my project, what the folder, the file KZP is read by Kalipso? P folder? Is it possible that I download the file of an FTP folder to the P folder and proceed to update in my device?
No, use Mesh Communicator.
Okay. Better to use Mesh Communicator in this case.
Yes, it's better to use Mesh Communicator. Yes. That can be done with Windows CE, but not with Android.
Okay.
So
better to use Mesh.
Better to use Mesh Communicator.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Firebase, does it work on iOS
yes.
too? I think we answered
yes.
that.
Yes, Firebase work because there are many providers for push notifications, but Firebase works with iOS and Android. That's why we are using this. So you don't have you only have to learn one tool. Okay, you don't need to learn two.
Okay. So let's move on to the next question, which is not a question. Are you having problems hearing Emmanuel? Does everyone hear Emmanuel? If you're having problems hearing Emmanuel, still having problems, just log out and log in the session and keep sure that you select the right options on the hearing policies. Next question, and I think this is the last one for now, at least. Can reports have sections that reset page numbers?
That's a good question. I don't think so. But if you want to reset, so let's say you want to print 1 and 2 of 2, and then go again back to 1, it's something like that. Okay, so for regarding the total number of pages, I don't think we have any rule for that. Okay. So no. I think I'll go with no. Probably it's better to have 2 reports, or if it's the same report, we will need to print that report twice.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's move to the next one.
But if you want, please send that question to support. Maybe someone has a better idea than me. Okay, so we can evaluate that. Linked project. Oh, okay, that's a good question and that's a good topic.
Okay,
Let me talk
let's read
about
the
that.
question so that everyone sees. In linked projects, is it possible to access the local database?
Yes, and it is possible to separate the code from the graphic part. I think it's not possible. What advice? I don't understand the second question. This is regarding what? The HTML control? Ivan, if you can explain me the second part of your question, that would be good. Regarding the first one, I didn't talk about linked projects, and I can talk about linked projects right now. So we are working with Kalipso, and this is a very basic application. But let's say you have a more complex application to build, and you want to have one or two people working on the same application, but on separate parts. And you can link project, or let's say you have a dedicated part of the project for printing, and you have a dedicated part of the project for RFID, and you want to gather all that actions and all that project in the one global project. So you can link different projects, and you can fetch data from different projects. So let me see if I can find an easy way to explain that. So you can go here to project and link it project, and you can link that project to a different one. Let me see an example. Can be this one. Okay, so now those projects are here, and let me. Okay, so let me delete that. Show form. As you can see, we have all our forms that we have here, and we have the form that is from other project. Okay, and I can try that. And when I go and compile to Kalipso, sorry, to my device, see, it's a different project that I have, and then I link it. Okay, it's getting me an error because this is a demo version, and you need to create an uplink. So, okay, there are some colors. Okay, and I can exit, and I will go back to the other project. Let's say I know that the other project has a local database. See colors, so I can select. See colors. Okay, so I can select something from the other project. Okay, let me show. I can count ID from colors. Message box. See, now you have a different row over there that you. Okay, let me see. T-var 0. I'm using the right click. So I have one value. Let's see. If I go again and I add more colors. Oh, getting an error. Why am I getting an error? Maybe I need to check that. So I now supposed to have 2 colors. Yes, I have 2 colors. Okay. So the way to access a database that is on a linked project, it's the same thing. Okay. The same thing on the local project. Okay. It's exactly the same thing. There are no difference. So linked projects are really good to abstract things. So let's say you can have a project that will deal with all the HTTP connections or all the database connections, and you can have other projects just to the graphic part. Okay, so linked projects are quite useful if you want to divide tasks. Next question.
Okay, let's proceed. How to use external libraries?
But HTML. I don't know. Okay, let me make a resume about external libraries. Okay. If you are using Windows, you can use DLL. If you are using Android, you can load APK. So you can create an application on Android Studio and load that APK with Kalipso. If you are using HTML, you can use an external library like the one I'm using here that will load, I think, where is the file? This will load something from Google. Okay, let's say you don't want to load that from Google and you want an offline application. You just copy the loader.js to files to send, and that's it. And you load from the P folder and not from the internet. I don't know if that was the question.
Okay, we can wait to see
Yes.
if there's any more detail. Meanwhile, I don't know if you can already help us on that or no, Emmanuel, but I know that we launched an update on Kalipso, and well, we already have the news on the website. But well, I think it could be good to talk about it, about compiling Android app bundles. I don't know if you can already tell us something about it.
Yes, we have a new update, and that update it's important because Google will mandate, I think, in the future that all the application will be built with what was the file extension? Sorry, I kind of forgot. ABB, exactly. Sometimes I confund with AAB.
It's starting from August, actually.
Yes. So you can still generate APK and you can still sideload your APK to a test device. But if you want to submit your application to Google, you need to create a ABB. Okay, and to generate ABB, it's almost the same thing when you generate an APK. If you want to generate an APK with a signature, you need to create your company signature. Same thing with the bundle. So you generate one signature. Let me create one somewhere. And save it. Okay.
Yeah, it's AAB, I think.
Yes, and that's it. You click OK, and this will generate the APK and the ABB or AAB. I don't. We will see in about 5 minutes. So next question.
I don't think we have any other question.
No. Okay.
But anyone, just to tell everyone that, well, we are talking about it now. I think it's also good, but to everyone who's already using Kalipso to generate applications which are then launched in the Play Store, don't worry. We are going to send an email to everyone with the steps on how to do this in Kalipso. And of course, if then you have any question, you can also always send us that to the support. But well, let's see. It's generating. And meanwhile, if you got any question, now it's the time. We can wait a little bit more for your questions. We still got 15
and
minutes.
for me to compile the project.
Yes. We still got 15 minutes. Well, Emmanuel, we got a question. If you can explain how to use timers.
Timers.
Yeah.
Now I need to wait.
We need to wait.
It's almost done. So the timer will trigger a local action set or a global action set. That's what we are using, for instance, for the time that we see on the screen. Okay. So we have the AAB, now we know, and the APK, and that's it. That's the big difference. And if you have applications on Google Play, you will need to update to this. Okay, regarding the timer. So as you can see, we have a clock, just an input form, and I'm executing the local action set time. Okay, that will just set the value on the screen. Okay, I can be in thread mode or not. That's irrelevant on this because it's so fast. And then I will start the timer, and this will, from 5 seconds to 5 seconds, that will run this action. Okay. Let's say the local action set, you don't know how long the local action set will run. So you should do something like that. You save that. You go to the local action set. You stop the clock. Where is time? Stop timer. Okay. You run the local action set. Imagine that will take a while, and then you can start again the timer. Okay. And the timer you can run in background mode. Okay. So it's quite easy. It's just a trigger that you run an action, local action set or global action set in background, or not, if you don't want to run that on background. And you can stop and start the timer when you want, and even inside the global action set. Okay, that is, if we go here to test on simulator, you can see that happening. Okay, executed the timer, stopped the timer, set the value, and start the timer again. And oh, I did a mistake. The start timer that I'm calling is setting as another time. Simulate. Okay, so we have the clock, and in about a moment we will see, okay, executing, stop the time, set the value, run the time again and again, okay, and this will be an infinite cycle right now. This is it. Okay, it's quite easy. I don't know if they have another question.
Yes, we got another question. Well, we can try to answer it, and if it's not possible, we can move it to support. But I think you can help him now. Pedro is working on a project, and he needs to do something he has done in another. Will it be possible a partial import of the projects for example, global action or form or report?
Yes.
And how to do it?
You can copy the form. We right click here, copy form. You open the other both projects. You go there and then and paste form. That's the easy part. Copy paste. Or you can create a component and then you can import that component. So you can create a component.
Pedro is saying that he's asking this because he has some difficulty doing Control-C and Control-V, so copy and paste in different Kalipso versions.
Of course, it needs to be on the same Kalipso version. Yeah. Yes. So either you upgrade the old project to the new version, or you will not be able to copy that.
Yep.
They need to be on the same version.
Yeah, the best option would be to upgrade the new project and then to do this that you're saying.
Yes, copying one to the other.
Okay. Great. I think we got no more questions.
I just want to tell one more thing that I probably didn't mention before. So every time we are working, we are creating backups. Okay, as you can see, we work on this project on the 20, 22, and 28. So every time we work, every time we deploy, every time you compile, or every time you test on the simulator, that will create an automatic backup. And you can grab and go back on time, the last version. Okay, you can also force backups. Full backups. Okay, and you can recover that version. And this is regarding backups. Please use a folder for your project. Don't put two projects inside the same folder. Each project has its own folder. Okay. Please don't put projects inside the application Kalipso. Okay. Because if you uninstall, you will delete all your projects. You should use download documents or other folder. And you can print documentation for your project. Okay. You can select what you want to print or what you don't want to print. And this is good if you are working with customers and you want to print some screenshots of your application, and so they can validate if it's okay or if it's not okay. Or if you want to print and have it on paper or on a PDF to save, you can print. We will print a lot of stuff, because if you are using multi-language, that will print all the language that you have, all the database, all the connections, and so on and so on. Okay, so this will be quite extensive, and that will save you a lot of time, and that no one likes to document anything, right?
Since we're talking about these matters, Emmanuel, is there any way to implement Git with Kalipso for version control?
For now, no, but
we are working on it.
We are working on that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're gonna have it in the. I think it's in the next version.
Mhm.
Okay. So this one is the last question then. If you create the component, how can you use it in another project?
You can go. Oops, sorry. You go here. Is it project? Linked project plus, and you load the component.
Okay. Okay. Great. Now I think that's all the questions we have, and we still have 5 minutes. I don't know if you want to add anything else.
No, regarding Git, the reason why we are able to create different backups for almost different
Hours.
moments, it's the reason why we will have Git. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
in the background that is already implemented, but it's not yet for the user. So we need to have an interface for the user. So that is not yet created. So the backbone it's there, but it's not yet available. That was just the one. Please don't do that. Don't use colors like this one. Okay, they are quite ugly. So you should make it a little bit more pretty. Use linked projects are quite useful. I don't know, recommendations. That's about it. Oh, okay. Don't forget, sometimes we have controls that are on top of other controls, and you can go here on focus order and manage that. Also, create better names for your variables and for your controls and for your forms. Because if you do like I did for bottom 1, 2, 3, and 4, you have no idea what you did, like me. So you should provide better names, so that will help you a lot. And every time you have a question, please send to support. And you can also, not this one, sorry. You can also use, we have in support, we have a portal. Okay. So all the questions you have, they will be here. So you can sign in and send your questions here. So you know for sure that your question will be answered and will be here. And the reason why I'm talking this is sometimes there are some spam filters that will delete our answer. And sometimes there are spam filters from our side that will delete your question. So so if you want to make sure that you send a ticket, go here. Okay, submit a ticket, create an account, and submit your questions here. Okay.
Yeah. We got a last question, a very last question, Emmanuel. Let's go for it. Maybe you can explain check usage.
Check usage of, sorry. Check usage of what?
Luis, can you please
Elaborate that. Can you elaborate that?
Yeah, check usage of controls variables.
Huh? I'm not understanding. I'm sorry. If you want, you can explain in Portuguese.
Yeah, Luis, if you want, you can write us in Portuguese, and we can try to get it better. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for it, for everyone who's here, I will send you an inquiry in the next email. That I will add there all the 3 sessions, and I will send you an inquiry. Please answer that inquiry, because I will add there a question related to what would you like to see in any next session, and we are going to base future webinars on your answers. So we need your answers for that, of course. Emmanuel, meanwhile we have it here in Portuguese. So
To be honest, I don't know what he's asking to talk about. So maybe we can do a small sessions about this, and I can ask Luis Nina what he's doing. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe that's better. Luis, can you send us an email talking about it, about that, and then we can schedule a small session or so and try to help you better with that.
not help him, but help everyone. If
Yeah,
this is useful for him, it's useful for the other. I'm just for now, right now, I'm not seeing what this is about.
yeah,
So
but but,
I'm
but let's
sorry.
not
I'm
forget.
sorry, Luis.
But let's not forget, Emmanuel, that we will send also the that document with all the questions, so then we can answer to this one better as well, and we can
Hmm.
give it to everyone.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
So thank you, everyone. I hope you like it, and I hope you this can be useful for you. And again, if you have questions, please send to support. And have a nice day.
Have a great day, everyone. And in name of SysDev, thank you very much for being with us again. And we hope to see you in the future in the next sessions. Uh, so again, please answer the questions that I will send in the next email, so that we can know what you want to hear about, and we can prepare the future webinars based on that. Thank you very much, and have a nice week. Bye.
Bye.